My next guest is going to be fighting on Contender Series against Ty Flores coming up here on August 4th. It is Dustin Jacoby joining me here on the program. Dustin, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm pumped for the fight. I'm excited. Just got home from training. Got a little grub in me, so I'm feeling good.
I like the energy off the bat. I can tell this is going to be a good interview here. And great to see you on Contender Series here. I just sort of saw your name on there, and it just so happened I was talking to your management, and this sort of came together. But I don't think a lot of people remember you fought in the UFC back in 2011 and 2012. So what is it like now having this opportunity and being able to go back to the UFC at 33 years of age?
It's super cool, man. I'm 32.
32, sorry,
yeah. Yeah, super cool. I'm very excited for this opportunity. You know, I feel like the first time when I was in the UFC, I got there a little bit too quick. I was only 6-0, had not faced much adversity in my career. And I think that's the biggest difference. I haven't fact-checked this, but I think that I'm probably the only UFC vet that's been on the Contender Series. If you look, a lot of these guys, including my opponent, you know, they're 5-0, 6-0, 7-2. Not many fights, man. And I'm 11-5 MMA, but I had 20 professional GLORY Kickboxing fights where, you know, I was really put through the ringer, and I was tested in my career, and I've been through a lot of adversity. So I'm excited to come back and, you know, earn my way. I always knew I'd be getting back into MMA, so I'm excited to earn my way back into the big show.
And it's you're a guy that his name that I hear all the time. You know, interview your teammates. You know, I always ask about training partners. You're sort of one of the main guys for, you know, guys like Chris Camozzi and Anthony Smith and everyone else. So you've been in there putting in the work. I know you also fought in Bellator as well. So it's been cool to see you back here. Tell me how this all came together with them presenting this opportunity to you, because I agree, like, you're probably the most experienced competitor on the show right now.
Yeah, so last year I was getting back into, you know, when Anthony fought John Jones, I give a lot of credit to Anthony. In 2018, I broke my arm my last fight in GLORY 2017, came back 2018, was coaching a little bit on the Ultimate Fighter, Stipe and DC. And then I just had to take some time off because my arm just kept giving me problems. And, you know, I tried to practice and I'd always be injured. And I just wasn't that guy. I didn't want to be the guy that was on the sidelines, you know. So I took some time off. I thank Anthony Smith. You know, he got the opportunity to fight John Jones. My coach, Mark Montoya, reached out. He's like, hey, man, he's like, get back in here and help this guy. Like, you're a good look. You'll push him. You know, he needs you. I got back in there, and I fell in love with MMA again. And, you know, I took some years away from it and had a couple stints here and there, but I was more primarily training kickboxing. And then 2019, I'm trying to get a fight, cannot get a fight. And then my manager at the time told me that if I get a win, that PFL may be interested in me. And I'm like, cool, let's do it. So I have this MMA fight. I'm drenched in sweat, getting ready to walk out and perform. Literally right when we're getting ready to walk out, my opponent falls down the stairs and hurts his arm. And so the fight didn't happen. And there went my shot with PFL. And, you know, and then on the regional scene, promoters didn't want to pay me. Fighters certainly didn't want to fight me. So it was just hard to get back into it. And then finally, you know, my manager, Jason House, was like, hey, man, I got this opportunity. And this was back in, geez, what was that? Maybe January, February sometime of this year. I was like, hey, I got an opportunity for you, Contender Series. You want it? And I'm like, well, hell yeah. And he's like, but it's not until June. And I'm like, damn, not until June. I was like, I'd rather get active and fight. He's like, man, I think you take it. He's like, we'll get you a guy. You smash this guy, you get your contract back. I'm like, all right. Well, then June got pushed back because of the COVID to August 4th. So that's where we're at, man. I've known all year that this was coming, and the only thing is different is my opponent, because I was originally supposed to face this 9-0 Russian guy who, because of the travel restrictions, I believe, was not able to take the fight with COVID. And now here I am sitting with Ty Flores, a 7-2, you know, up and comer that's trying to get to where I've been, and you know, I'm going to show him that there's levels to this.
And before we talk about the matchup, I do want to discuss your experience in kickboxing, because you fought really, really, really tough competition. I was looking at your resume there. I mean, you sort of fought the who's who in GLORY and everything else. How was the overall experience for you getting to compete for them and just doing the kickboxing stuff? Because I know, like, your teammate Chris Camozzi, he really enjoyed it.
Dude, I love GLORY. I love kickboxing. You know, my whole career, I thank them for everything. They did a lot for me. When I won that first GLORY World Series tournament, it was all Americans, and I had no idea what I had accomplished. I had no idea what I'd won. You know, they were like, sign this contract, come fight for us. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm not signing a contract, you know, because at the time I was training for an MMA fight against Andrew Sanchez, and who I eventually still fought a month later. But I just had no idea what it was. And then I went ahead and signed with them. A few weeks later, I fought, Michael Duke, 37-3 at the time. The guys that I fought in Glory, a lot of your casual fight fans or even hardcore fight fans probably don't even know who they are. A bunch of European foreign guys that are some of the baddest dudes on the planet, man. I mean, I fought Michael Duke, Daniel Lunga, Alex Pereira, Murad Bouzidi, Simon Marcus. Those guys are straight killers. And the adversity that I went through with Glory just really, made me struggle, and I appreciate that struggle now. I always say my struggle is my strength, because of those struggles is where I'm at right now. And I'm just very thankful for Glory. I had a great time with them. I had 20 professional kickboxing. All of my professional career kickboxing was with them. And great company, great organization, treated me well. And hopefully there's some rumor that, they're kind of reconstructing and they may or may not go on. I think they will go on, but I hope they do. I wish them the best. If it was up to me, man, I'd keep kickboxing. I love kickboxing. It's a ton of fun, man. And when you can just go toe to toe with somebody and throw down until someone goes down.
And if just wanted to mention some of those names there that you mentioned of who you fought. Pereira is the guy that knocked out Israel Adesanya, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
yes.
I mean, he knocks out everybody he touches, man. That guy's a killer.
And another win I know you had that I noticed on there, Carl Roberson, you fought him in Glory as well, right? Who's now in the UFC.
Yep, I've beat Carl Robertson, Andrew Sanchez, Tim Williams. My last MMA fight a year ago was against Cody East at heavyweight. I weighed in at 210 pounds. He weighed in at 250 pounds. That guy's 15-3, and to my knowledge, I think he only got cut from the UFC because of a domestic dispute. Whether that, I don't know the details about that, so I don't want to talk about that. But I mean, he was a guy that won in the UFC and would probably still be there had that not went down. So, I've beaten the guy. I know I belong, man. I know it's just about showing up and performing.
Let's talk about your opponent, Flores, a 7-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
I feel like I match up great against him. For one, man, like I said, this Contender Series is for up and coming guys. Like, I know they always say when you the hard battles you've had, the hard fights you have, a piece of you is kind of taken. But at the same time, I feel like I've also taken a piece from every one of my opponents. And I know Ty Flores is only 7-2. It doesn't have a big kickboxing record or the experience I have. And my goal from now on, anytime I fight, and it has been my last 7 fights, however many I've had, is to make these guys feel the pain and the struggle and the adversity that I felt, that I had to go through. And I want to do that by putting on for these past opponents I've had. I want those opponents to look at it and be like, hell yeah, Jacoby, go put it on him, and that's my goal. I know he's an up-and-coming guy. Dude, I'm just going to go out and make him feel that pain that I felt. And I'm excited. I think he's probably going to want to wrestle me, and I'm ready for that. I've been training with some top level wrestlers, some up and coming guys, some guys that are on the Contender Series coming up that are, just really good talent. So I'm excited for the challenge, man. I know I'm more than ready, and I'm going to show that, that veteran experience, come game time.
Now, is Anthony Smith in the gym right now? Because I know his fight's coming up, in a little bit, not too soon. But are you getting to work with him at all?
Yep. I just trained with him this morning. Anthony's back in the gym. He's back getting ready for his fight, I believe, the end of August. And, he's as good as ever, man. I mean, that guy can take time off and come back in and still be, the best guy in the gym. So great guy to learn from. His jiu-jitsu is amazing. And, really helps me a long way. It's funny because how the times change. I remember – when I first met Anthony back in like 2010, 2011, we were fighting on local shows. I was fighting his teammates. And, I mean, there were times Anthony and I almost signed to fight each other. And, him and Chris Camozzi almost fought each other. Chris Camozzi and I did fight each other.
In the UFC, which is so crazy because you guys train together now.
Yeah, man. So we all kind of came up on the same circuit. And I just remember that I have this very visual memory of us standing there. It was after the fights were all done. It was like 10 p.m. We're all out, having a couple drinks. And he's like, man, I just don't know, like this game is just tough. And, this is a decade ago, and he still struggled for years and years and years until, he went on his run. And it just timing's everything, man. He's an inspiration to me because at that time I was like, shit, he's talking about struggling. I'm just like, I'm getting ready to get signed by the UFC, and it's like I feel like I was on top of the world and, he was kind of down and now he's on top of the world and, I'm trying to get there. And guys like that push me because I know I belong with them and, I'm grateful to be able to train with guys like that.
The weight cut, I imagine, is not too bad for you because, like you said, it fought at heavyweight before, and you used to be a middleweight, so I'm sure this is the ideal weight class for you.
Yeah, it's perfect for me, man. I mean, the cut to middleweight isn't bad. It's not hard for me. I just feel like some of the guys there are quicker than me. And at 205, I feel like I'm going to be that quicker guy. I have the power. You know, look at my resume. I have the power to knock anybody out. I just fought at heavyweight. I weighed in at 210. All three of my opponents were 250, and I was just way quicker than them. I mean, speed kills, and it's like, I've had people tell me go to 205 for years. They think 205 is my weight class, and I'm not. I walk around 210. So, I mean, that cut's not going to be anything for me. And I thought because I was 210, I need to get down to middleweight. But now I don't think that's the case. I think at 205, I'm going to be the quicker guy. I still have the power, and I'm really looking forward to starting a new career at light heavyweight.
Your corner, I imagine Coach Mark Montoya will be in there. Anyone else you get to be in the cage with you?
Yeah, Mario Carrera, Busy will be there. Our
jiu-jitsu coach.
Jiu-jitsu coach. Yeah, Professor Busy. And then another one of our jiu-jitsu guys, Scotty, will be there with me as well. So all great coaches, man. They mix it up well, and we work well as a team.
How's the fight playing out on August 4th?
Dude, I'm going to wreck this guy. I'm going to finish him. I mean, I'm going to finish him. I know it. I get emotional thinking about it. I mean, that's when I know I'm fired up. I'm ready. I'm ready to go out there and just show out, man. Have fun. And I'm going to show this kid that, I've been down, drugged to the bottom, and, I'm ready to come out on top.
Downtime. What's that looking for you right now? We've got COVID going on. I'm sure that's restricting some stuff. What are you doing to keep yourself occupied? Any new TV shows or video games, anything like that?
I'm not a gamer. I used to be a gamer, and then my wife would always give me a bunch of shit for it. So not so much a gamer. I'm an avid golfer. I play a lot of golf.
Okay, awesome.
Dude, I play a lot of golf. I mean, I've already played 40 rounds this year. And then I sell roofs on the side as well. We get a lot of hail damage here in Colorado, and I work for a company that we do roofing and all exterior, so that keeps me busy as well. Helping people out, getting the roofs taken care of, and pretty good loot too. So I'm just always active, man. I'm always down for anything. We go camping, we go hiking, I go mountain biking, and I play a lot of golf. So that's what I do.
Well, if all goes well and you get this UFC contract, you got to link up with Calvin Kattar and Rob Font. Those are two of the biggest golfer fighters that I know that are totally into it. So they're totally into it. In fact, every interview we always talk about it. And Rob's actually, he was injured. He had surgery. And the first thing I said, when were you allowed to get back on the course and play golf? He's like, oh man, you have no idea. I just got back a couple weeks ago. Like everything's good. Cause like he uses it as like therapy in some ways. He loves golfing.
Oh, I love it, man. It's very it's mental too. You gotta stay focused, and it's also visualizing. You gotta visualize what's going on, and I'm a 6 handicap, so I always joke around and say, if MMA, if there was a golf tournament for MMA fighters, I'm taking that thing. But I'm
glad organize it. That sounds awesome.
I should get that going, man, and I should talk to those two, and see if we can get a round going and get that game going.
Ah, that's very cool. Well,
I was actually out. I was out in Vegas for the Contender Series. Like you had to do like the workouts, photo shoot, promo stuff, and I snuck away and played TPC. I brought my clubs with me, so yeah, dude, I play a lot.
And another UFC connection, Julian Marquez, who's a middleweight. He actually he works at Top Golf in Vegas.
Okay, cool.
So there you go. There's another one. So there's all these interesting connections there. So that's
man. Yeah, thanks for hooking me up. I'm going to have to reach out to those guys and get something organized.
That's awesome. Well, in the meantime, we got to watch you kick some ass here on August 4th. It's Contender Series. You don't want to miss it. I'm so glad this show's back. I always love watching it. But I don't even think you're a contender. I mean, you're a veteran, but it's still going to be cool to see you get an MMA fight here, which is awesome. Dustin, this was a lot of fun. Really appreciate you taking the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. You can find me on social media. I'm at the Hanyak DJ on Instagram. I got it changed to Twitter and Facebook as well. The Hanyak is a pretty cool story. Real quick, my twin brother and I, growing up, my grandma would always call us little Hanyaks when we were acting up, when we were acting out, when we were being bad. And one day, one of my best friends in the world stood at my wedding. He texted me out of nowhere. He's like, dude, I think I have the perfect nickname for you. You should be the Hanyak. And I'm like, what? I'm like, where did you see that? And so he tells me, I'm like, dude, my grandma used to call it my brother and I the little Hanyaks all the time. Well, when I fought that Glory World Series, my first ever tournament with Glory, the guy asked me, he's like, "Do you have a nickname?" I said, "No." I was getting my hands wrapped. I was like, "No." And he's walking away, and I was like, "But wait a minute." I stopped. I was like, "Hey, man," I was like, "Tonight I do. Call me the Hanyak." And I went out there, had 3 knockouts in one night, and it's stuck ever since, man. So that's where the Hanyak comes from. It's an aggressive athlete, rebel without a cause. And my grandma, it's just got deeper meaning than that. So that's where you can find me, the Hanyak DJ. Don't really have. I got some ladder. I got some Quest bars. I get my manager and his team at Iridium Sports, man. They hook me up every day. Something new is coming to my house. So I'm very thankful to Jason House and Iridium Sports, my team at Factory X, Mark Montoya, Landau Performance, where we do strength and conditioning as a team, and pretty much a who's who of anybody who's anybody in the Denver area that's a top athlete trains there. So, big thanks to those guys for getting me ready. And, I'm excited to go and put on a show for the fans. And like I said, all the past opponents I've had, all my training partners, anybody that's impacted me or taken something from me and I've taken something from them, I want to put on for all of them too. So really looking forward to the opportunity and know that, I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities in my career, and I'm excited to, capitalize with now that I'm a little more mature and like I said, a veteran. So I'm excited.